This affects over 1 million workers in America, over 40,000 right here in Baton Rouge. Deputies say they confiscated over 50 stolen guns, a meth lab. Louisiana law requires all front seat passengers to buckle up. And soon, regardless of age, all backseat riders are gonna have to click it. Now, this beautiful 35-foot Christmas tree is going to be lit up in a matter of minutes. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers take home their 6th Super Bowl ring, tackling the lead with the most titles? Residents say they can't even walk out of their front door without walking through sewage. We're told this has been going on for the past few weeks. Topping our local news this morning, several dozen teachers in the East Baton Rouge school system could be out of a job next semester. This year's freshman enrollment numbers will be similar to last year's, but he's not positive. He says some students are still weighing other options. It's gonna cost smokers a lot more to light up. A carton of cigarettes have nearly tripled in price. Authorities say the 3-year-old boy ingested crack cocaine. If you have to be outside tonight, you're gonna have to layer up.
It's coming to its end.
Winifred O'Neill has lived at Brandywine for over a decade, and she says the living conditions are getting worse every day.
I can't use my mailbox key because someone broke a key in there.
And it doesn't stop there. Take a look at this. Trees growing in a swimming pool, charred buildings, and walkways literally falling apart.
They tried to patch it before. Look at this. When you step on here.
Homeowners say this trash was supposed to be picked up nearly a week ago, but as you can see, it just keeps piling up. No matter how bad things get, several homeowners are fighting to keep Brandywine open because they say some people have nowhere else to go.
I'll make it, but I'm worried about these older people.
My motivation is that they need to have a home.
Lights were supposed to be cut off this afternoon, but Entergy's Jeff Holman says they have until Friday to pay up. The complex owes nearly $9,000 for electricity and $3,000 for water. But homeowner Dennis Briscoe says they're having a hard time paying bills because several tenants are freeloading.
We don't have the records even though if you have a lease. So we have to go through the legal process of getting an eviction notice through the judge. And so we basically put a 5-day eviction notice on the door.
Briscoe expects to have the money in by Friday and is also working on bringing in a new management team, hoping to give Brandywine a new start. River West Medical Center is in critical condition, and there doesn't seem to be a cure for what this hospital's facing.
They were starting to work on a plan to lay off 200 employees.
The hospital's owner fired CEO Brian Bogle today after a hearing in bankruptcy court to discuss River West's future. The judge postponed the case for a couple of months, a decision that caught Bogle and many others off guard.
So he heard no testimony. He heard nothing from, we had representing the petitioners, there were 10, 11 people there.
Bogle was hoping the hospital could be saved not just for his former employees, but the community who relies on Iberville Parish's only medical facility.
It would be bad for the people here, some poor people that can't even make it to Baton Rouge.
Workers are left wondering if they'll have a job when they wake up tomorrow morning.
They won't tell us anything.
And only one thing's for sure, all that remains of this hospital, unanswered questions and empty rooms. We're standing in the radiology department where there's typically 5 employees on staff, but as you can see, nobody's back here right now, and we're told these workers walked out early this morning.
Unfortunately, the vast majority of those employees are going to go without a job in the very near future.
I'm going to struggle for a little while, I'm sure, but something good will come about.
Officials say all in-house patients were driven to Baton Rouge hospitals tonight, a bumpy road that could leave one community in the dust. Class is in session, but at St. Helena High, 10th grader Kiara Johnson says school is anything but normal.
It's very difficult because the environment is different and the students' attitudes and behavior has changed.
After a former teacher, Lisa Cryer, allegedly torched over a dozen classrooms. St. Helena Hawks Gymnasium used to be used for just that, basketball games, but as you can see now, it's filled sideline to sideline with books, desks, and chalkboards. It's not just affecting how these students learn. No! For these 2 seniors, their final basketball season just started, and they say it's nothing to be excited about.
Ain't too much we can do now. half of the season is just gone down the drain.
But there is something the government's doing. Over $200,000 from the local emergency projects fund will buy a new modular, expected to be put right here in just a matter of weeks.
And spirits are really, really good in the new year. The kids are focused.
Principal Gary Porter says the modular will house 10 classrooms, bathrooms, and office space, building their school back one brick at a time. Who would have thought? Waterfalls just an hour and a half away from Baton Rouge.
Beautiful trees, flowing water, a beautiful little series of creeks with waterfalls. What's not to like?
Clark Creek Natural Area is 700 acres of fun. And you can get there and back on a tank of gas, just 20 minutes from St. Francisville.
It's affordable and it's fun.
Hiking, bird watching, and swimming are just some ways to fill your day at this wilderness trail. This is one of about 50 different waterfalls here at the Clark Creek Natural Area. Now, this waterfall is one of the tallest at 25 feet.
For this part of the country, it's unusual and pretty, so it'll stay the same length.
Louisiana Hiking Club's John Inglesman says it's one of his favorite places to visit, and it's a cheap thrill. Only $3 for parking.
I've probably been here a dozen or so times. I think it's a beautiful natural area. The woods are lovely.
I like going off trail because the trails they have here are cool and you get to see the waterfalls, but it's more fun whenever you actually have to work to get to the waterfalls.
Clark Creek is home to world record trees, migrating birds, snakes, land snails, fish, and even the Mississippi black bear. This outdoor treasure is truly a sight and a perfect staycation for anyone who just wants to get away. Yes, it was, Jeff. In a matter of minutes, 3 teachers were robbed. In Louisiana, lottery sales are up. As a matter of fact, the Capitol Corner Market just sold over 1,500 tickets. You can hear them chanting behind me. The party's just getting started here. I have a gator to my left. I have a Sooner to my right. Now, you guys, these tickets are pretty pricey. We're standing in Angela's room. Her folks tell us it's left just the way it was when she disappeared. The reimbursement process that has some dealerships tapping their brakes. Jindal is allowed 1 minute for every minute that the president speaks. But now, for the first time ever, this room is filled with nothing but empty chairs. The Band of Blue is getting ready to show their stars and stripes in our nation's capital. Over 3,000 Tiger fans bleeding purple and gold as millions of football fanatics prepare for the biggest game of the year.